Our next honoree is Mrs. Nikki Johnson-Huston. I call her my sister friend. Love Nikki. Now Nikki, that's all right. I like that music. Mrs. Nikki Johnson-Huston, Esquire. I gotta put the Esquire on there. She is an unlikely success story. Born into poverty, she was homeless at age 9. She failed out of college at age 18. But she did not let that stop her. Nikki got a job as a nanny during the day. She went back to college at night and graduated in 1998 from St. Joseph's University, the same college she had previously failed out of. A 2004 graduate of Temple University Beasley School of Law in Philadelphia, she earned a JD, MBA, LLM, and an LLM in taxation in only 4 years. And as somebody who went to law school, that is hard. Nikki is a tax attorney in Philadelphia. She's a founder of the law firm of Nikki Johnson-Huston and PhillyTaxDiva.com, and she is an advocate by far for so many who do not have a voice. Please direct your attention to the screen. And to you, it's Mrs. Nikki Johnson-Huston, Esquire.
Thank you so much. I'm incredibly honored to be here, incredibly humbled, and I'm happy to accept this award, but this really isn't my award. This award is for all of the people who loved me and supported me and made it possible for me to be here. The person that you see before you is standing here because of love and because people saw the possibility in me when I couldn't even see it in myself. As you saw my story, I was fortunate. I was only in foster care for a relatively short period of time, and I was fortunate enough to be able to go and live with my grandmother. The reason that I was sent to live with my grandmother kind of was simple. I was the girl, and she could only take one, because my grandmother was disabled and living in Section 8 housing. And I can tell you that it isn't just her, it was a larger community, because none of us makes it alone. And I'd like to tell you a little story about my grandmother, because it'll tell you everything you need to know about her and a lot about me and why I'm in this situation. I'd been living on the streets for almost a year, and my mom decided that the best thing was she couldn't keep us together, and so they put me on a bus to go be with my grandmother. And I remember getting off the Greyhound bus, and it was about 11 o'clock at night, and my grandmother hugged me and looked at me and made sure I was okay. And then she looked at me and she said, "Nikki, you're fortunate enough to be born in a different America than the America I was born into, to the greatest generation of women that will have ever lived up until that time. What are you going to do with it?" Well, I looked at her because I was 10, and I'm like, I don't know. And I thought about it for a second, and I said, I want to be a lawyer, and I want to have lots of shoes. See, the ladies are like, oh yeah. Well, the reason I wanted to have a lots of shoes is because when I came to my grandmother, I had 1.5 pair of shoes. And the half was because I lost the 1 pair of shoes that fit me when I was in shelter. And they gave me another pair of shoes, but they never quite fit. And so to me, success was being a lawyer and being an advocate for people who couldn't advocate for themselves and having lots of shoes. And I'm proud to say I'm a lawyer and my shoe game is fierce. About the possibility of who and what you could be. One of the reasons I decided to start telling my story is because when I was younger, I wish I had seen somebody who had went through what I'd gone through, who could tell me those nights when I cried myself to sleep that it could get better, that when I didn't know where I was going to have a roof over my head or where my next meal was going to come from, it was hard to believe that I could go to college and become a lawyer. Well, I'm here to tell you that those things are possible, and they're not always going to be easy. But you guys are so fortunate. You didn't have my grandmother, but you guys have Valerie and Larry, and they can do for you what my grandmother did for me, which is carry me when I couldn't carry myself, advocate for me. And I can tell you that one of the reasons I failed out of school was because I felt such shame about where I came from. I felt that people could see through me and that they could see that I didn't belong. But I can tell you now that I'm a few years older than you, that the things that you have gone through have made you stronger, stronger than you could ever imagine. And that those things don't make you less, they make you more. Because you've survived, you're here, and so many people you know may not have made it and may have been bowed. And so that's what makes you beautiful. But it's not going to necessarily be easy, and people are going to doubt you, and you're going to doubt yourself. But you guys need to support each other. You need to be mentored, and there's going to be people out there who want to help you, but you also have to be willing to accept that help. And I can tell you, for a long time, that was really hard for me because I didn't trust people. Being on the streets meant that I couldn't trust the adults around me. But I had to learn to trust in them and in myself to make my life a little bit better. So when you look at us, when you look at Charlie, who's an advocate, when you look at me, who's a lawyer, when you look at Sharon, who's a doctor, I want you to ask yourself, what do you want to be? What is possible for you? Anything is possible for you. I'm a living testament to it, and so are all of you. My grandmother always told me that there was no shame in being poor, but being poor of character, and that excellence speaks for itself. So one of the things I want to say to you is be excellent. Keep moving forward. Keep believing. My husband gave me a t-shirt once, and it said, "I'm fabulous, the world doesn't know it yet." And on the back it says, "Now you know." So, I'm fabulous, you're fabulous, and use this experience to not just better your own life, but to better other people's lives, to be a voice, to be a leader, because you have survived and you will be able to see the world in a completely different way than other people have. And that is a gift, because for a long time I used to ask myself, why did this happen to my family? And that it was unfair. And you know what? It was unfair. But I realized a couple years ago that the answer was, why not my family? Because nobody deserves this. For all of you out in the audience, I'm going to ask you to give, because it takes a lot of money to make someone so fabulous. And so we want to give money so these kids can be beautiful and be fabulous and be the leaders that they are supposed to be. It takes so much blood, sweat, and tears to get to this place. And they need you. They need all of us. So I'm going to end on a poem that I wrote. And it talks about what my experience was like. Because for a long time I felt that no one saw me. It's called The Invisible Girl. What do you see when you look at me? Do you see the homeless little girl I used to be, or the woman lawyer that so many people helped me to be? I am both of those things, both of those people. I was one of the lucky ones, but not everyone makes it. We all have hopes and dreams, but for many, they are so far away. How can I dream if I don't know where I will eat, or even where I will stay? You know nothing about me, not even my name. All you see of me is my shame, but you never know my pain. You tell me to pick myself up, but I want to scream. No one ever showed me how. I'm here now as the woman I'd hoped to be, but so many like me are not where they are supposed to be. The next time you walk by one of us, I hope you see not where we are now, but where we hope to be. Thank you.
Stretch what you got, give me your best and I won't turn it down. 'Cause you're always out to impress. You're always out to impress. You're always out to impress. This is the highlight, nothing dragging us through the thorns. This is the best.